Children's minds are shaped by what they have learned from their environment. And whatever goes inside is what comes outside. Or in other words, you reap what you sow. So, one might think that the obvious way of fixing children's behavior is to keep an eye on the seeds that are being planted in their minds. You could start by identifying the external factors in their environment that are causing the problem in the first place. And then, you do all you can to minimize your child's exposure to them. It could be anything from a bad TV show to a notorious friend. But this is not enough, and in most cases not possible. You cannot shield your children from all the negative influences for the rest of their life. But you can program their mind by teaching them the right way to think. Children must be taught how to think, not what to think. As quoted by Margaret Mead. What does that mean? It means that you need to accept that your children have a mind of their own. When you tell your child to do something, and he does not listen to you, you think that he is misbehaving. But we can see only two parts of this misbehavior on the surface. For example, you tell your child to do something, and the child ignores you, backtalks to you, or does something entirely different. But if you study the neurology of the brain, you understand that there is a gap between these two parts. When you tell your child to do something, there is a small conversation in his head before he acts. For example, when Mom tells Daniel to go and do his math homework, the inner conversation that starts in his mind could be, "But I hate maths. I'm not good at it. I'll probably get the wrong answers anyway. Math is so stupid. I am so stupid. If my answers are wrong, then everyone will know that I am stupid. I don't want to embarrass myself in front of the whole class. It's better that I don't do the homework." But all you hear is no. And you think that the child is misbehaving. This is just one example of the conversation that kids have with themselves. We call it self-talk. Sometimes, you can hear them say it out loud, but most of the time, you don't. And you cannot understand why your child is not listening to you. You can say that kids don't listen to you at all, but they always listen to themselves. Sometimes their self-talk agrees with you, and many times it does not. And how kids behave is the result of their self-talk. We all have our self-talks, which we sometimes refer to as that little voice inside our head. But even as adults, we are not consciously aware of it all the time. It is like having a devil on one shoulder and an angel on another, telling you what to do. In the end, what we end up doing is influenced by all the self-talk going inside our heads. The same thing happens with your kids. But how do kids learn their self-talk? Like everything else, kids learn their self-talk statements from the people around them. If you keep criticizing your kid every time he makes a mistake, he will learn the self-talk statements like, "I am so clumsy, I'm not good at anything, I always make mistakes, I am so stupid." What do you think will happen to his self-esteem with this kind of self-talk? Instead of that, if you tell your child something like, "It's okay to make mistakes. You can get better if you learn from your mistakes and try harder next time," the child will learn self-talk statements like, "It is okay to make mistakes, I can learn from my mistakes, I can get better if I try harder." Now consider the earlier example, when Mom told Daniel to do the math homework. Imagine if the child had a positive self-talk, like this one. How different would the reaction of the child be? Think about it. Your child's self-talk is affecting his self-confidence, his self-esteem, his ability to communicate with others. his relationships with others, the ability to cope with difficulties and failures, the ability to handle stress and anxiety, his emotional health, and every other aspect of his life. The root cause of your child's behavior is his or her self-talk. And the type of self-talk your children have will determine their character and their future. Our future is determined by our actions. And as we have learned, our actions are influenced by our self-talk. So, if you want your children to have a bright future, you must work on fixing their self-talk. Teach them how to think, and not what to think. Positive and encouraging self-talk statements are the best gifts that you can give to your child. There are a few techniques that can help you modify and change your child's self-talk. Watch our next video if you want to learn more about them.